Welcome, trainers, to a journey down memory lane, where we play through each Pokemon generation and talk about our experiences, starting with Generation 1, the Kanto region. My name is Chris. I'm the normal trainer, and I'm playing Pokemon Blue. I'm also joined by my two fellow co-hosts.
My name is Sean, and I'm the Pokemon Master, and I'm playing Pokemon Red.
And my name is Dustin. I'm the Pokemon Hunter, and I'm playing the infamous Pokemon Yellow.
And we are known as the Trainer Trio. In our last episode, we acquired the Thunder Badge and beat Lieutenant Surge. Since then, we participated in a round-robin battle on Pokemon Showdown to see who really had the best Pokemon team.
And I guess just to give a quick recap to everyone. So in between the last episode and this one, we all got together and battled it out just to see who had the best team after getting the Thunder Badge. We quickly found out it was Sean. Of course it was Sean. He won 2-0 again. And in doing so, it looked like Sean always had the lead earlier on, but this time around, both me and Chris battled against him, and we actually took out some of his Pokemon. I believe Chris even gone down to like 2 Pokemon, which is crazy. I was not able to do the same. So then we left the final matchup, me and Chris, to battle it out, and thought it would be a close matchup, but this time I am just beating him with one Pokemon, Gyarados.
I feel disrespected.
You should be, Chris. Only one Pokemon.
Yeah, Chris, he did so well against me because he had his Sand Slash with Slash, and Slash gives you a critical hit ratio boost. Well, in Gen 1, it's kind of broken because Chris never didn't hit a critical hit against any of my Pokemon, so it was a very frustrating time.
Yeah, the Gen 1 strategies are definitely different than what you're going to find in other generations.
And just to give a quick recap now to see how far our teams are doing after 3 gyms. Sean is 6-0, so he has 0 losses. I am in second place with 2 wins, and 4 losses, and Chris has 1 win and 5 losses.
Good job, Pokemon Master.
Well, it's expected. If the name comes the results.
All right, so last episode we finished by beating Lieutenant Surge and getting the Thunder Badge, which I also explained in the last episode. That doesn't really do much. It gives you the ability to use Flash and Dark Caves, but that's not required in the game. So just getting the 3rd badge, though, we decided to head back north. We went back into the Underground Pass and then got back to Celadon City. And from there, you can go back through that house that Team Rocket broke into with Dig. And this time, with the tree blocking to your right, since you have a Pokemon that knows Cut, you can cut there and go directly into Route 9. So I assume you guys don't have any stories up until that point. So we can just start there, where I actually had a really annoying encounter with the very first trainer in Route 9. The trainer has a Bellsprout, and I believe my notes just say the first trainer east of Cerulean just kept wrapping me into oblivion. Stun Sport, wrap, Sleep Powder, wrap, and it was the most frustrating thing of my life.
Oh, man, I'm sorry for you, Chris. You're now experiencing the rap stories again. But I would like to say I do have one story right before we even got to Route 9, which was immediately after we beat the Thunder Badge. I knew we had to loop around and go somewhere since we did get Flash. And I had no idea where to go at the time. So I was just like running around everywhere, had no idea where the next section was, because at the moment I didn't want to really look at any online sources. And I had to give up after like 30 minutes of searching. So I did end up looking online to find out where Route 9 was, which it was by Celadon City. But I spent a lot of time on that, sadly.
Wow. That's so unfortunate. It happens to the best of us. We're not the best with navigation in these games.
Oh, that's just me thinking. Like, I'm gonna have to see if this game is truly good, or if I'm just looking through it with nostalgia. Because obviously, I remember what to do, but I understand not knowing what to do. The game can get kind of tricky,
especially for me. Moving back to Route 9, I guess I did a couple experiences. Small of them being, I saw a Magnemite for the first time and tried to catch it, and this would be my 30th Pokemon caught in my Pokédex. But of course, when I throw that Pokeball and I see like, oh, I caught it, yay. Then the text box on the bottom shows my Pokebox is full, meaning I did not actually catch it. So immediately afterwards, I had to go back to the nearest Poke Center, and I actually had to release Pokemon because I can't catch any more Pokemon. So that felt like a real betrayal of the Pokemon Hunter, because I really like to collect all the Pokemon, and now I can't do that.
I haven't encountered that yet, but I want to say in Generation 1, if you go to the PC and you switch your box, then it will start transferring automatically to your second box.
There's more than one box.
I think so.
I've released Pokemon, Chris.
Chris, where were you? Where were you?
Well, that's the luxury of the new games, is that when your box fills up, it just says, oh, we transferred it to box 2. I don't think Gen 1 did that. It just told you, oops, sorry.
I guess I was thinking this was a real hardcore version of Pokemon where, like, I can only have a certain amount of Pokemon ever.
Wow. So the Pokemon Hunter's out there releasing his collection.
I pulled up my Game Boy Color right now and I'm walking to a Poke Center just to confirm, but I am pretty sure that's the case. So, well, now you know. And Sean, when you get that message, you hopefully won't release any Pokemon.
When that'd be it if I get that message. When we get to the end of the episode and we all share our Pokédex totals, you guys will see where I'm at, so we could see if that would ever happen. But did you have anything else from Route 9 that you wanted to share, Dustin?
That was it. Do you have any stories, Sean?
Mine were just kind of general observations, because, you know, every time I play through like these games, just because it's Gen 1 and you're not used to the sprites, they always shock me seeing like the original design for a lot of these Pokemon. And so the first note I wrote was that Bellsprout just kind of looks terrifying in these gens. Because it looks a little, like, kind of cute in the newer ones, but no, it's just full-on terrifying in these generations. I also noticed just one thing when we're fighting the trainer with the Beedrill, he used Fury Attack, and I had my Geodude out, and then for every hit, it said not very effective. You could wait to the end of the attack and say it's not very effective, but no, just every time it hits makes it last so much longer than what it should. And so those were my two thoughts.
I also had one more fun experience. This one was actually fun. One of the hikers has a Geodude and an Onyx, and I threw out my Sandslash, who used Dig, so went underground in the first turn. Geodude used Self-Destruct and fainted itself. The hiker threw out Onyx, and then immediately my next turn, my Sandslash was able to beat it with Dig. So I was like, wow, that was the most efficient battle that I think I've ever done in my life. It was quite satisfying.
I hate that Sandslash.
I know. Now, if only I can do that against you guys, but we'll have to see.
I hope you add more Pokemon to your party.
As of right now, I have not, but... The other note I have is I was able to get TM30, which has Teleport, and my note says, gee, thanks, because I don't think that really does anything for me. There's also an Ether, I never learned how to pronounce it, that's on a tree in the northwest area of the route, and that's all the items you can get in Generation 1 in Route 9.
With this generation, I don't know, it just shocks me for the TMs, how you could get a TM like Teleport, but you get Thunderbolt from the gym. It's just like, you get some amazing TMs, but then the next TM is just one of the worst moves that is just so unusable. Just no disparity between them. It's just either super good or super terrible.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad TMs, and I assume that you guys are like me, where like your entire PC item box is just full of useless TMs at this point.
So I wonder if there's going to be a point where you can't put any more items in and you have to start releasing them.
Actually, it might be. I don't know. Yeah, any other stories on Route 9? I mean, I guess we can move down. Route 10 is practically just an extension of Route 9, just a little south. There you're going to find a Poke Center right before a cave. Just nice little thing there where you don't have to walk all the way back to Celadon City to heal before going into Rock Tunnel. From there, I just went into Rock Tunnel. Do you guys have any other things to add before we go into the next dungeon of the game?
No, I'm ready.
I actually have no notes on Rock Tunnel. Do you guys have anything on Rock Tunnel?
Okay, well then I do. So, Rock Tunnel, my experience, my memory is playing it in Fire Red and Leaf Green. And in that, when you're in a non-lit place, you just have the small, circle of the screen, lit up. So I'm like, okay, it's annoying like that, but I could probably do this because I didn't have Flash at the time and I didn't know where Flash was. And so I was just like, I'm just going to go in, it was annoying in Fire Red, but that was my assumption how it was going to be like in a non-lit area. But then I walk in and it's completely black. You can't see anything without Flash. And so the second I walked in there, I struggled too because I just assumed that the exit would just be down. So I went down and I wasn't exiting the tunnel. So then I started panicking and I was trapped in there. But then I remembered my War Turtle knew Dig. So I used Dig to get out. And then like Dustin, I was trying to find the Flash Gym without looking online first. Cause I'm like, I could figure this out, but I couldn't. I had no idea where to go. And so I finally looked online and I saw it was by where the Mr. Mime was. And so I was mad that I had to go all the way through Diglett Tunnel one more time to go there and get Flash. And then I didn't know which Pokemon to give Flash because it's a kind of terrible move. And so I decided just to go into my PC and use the Pikachu I randomly caught and gave it Flash just for that, the Rock Tunnel. And that is my story.
Oh man, it looks like this episode is really bringing us to our knees with going to online and trying to find some guides. One thing I did notice about Rock Tunnel, when you go inside, it's not just the outside area that's black, but your actual screen is darker too. So when I went to apply the Flash, I opened the menu and noticed oh wow, I guess they must have applied it across the entire screen because even the menu was darker than it should normally be. Which I'm pretty sure in later games, the menu should just be a normal brightness, shouldn't be dimmed based off of your location.
That's really interesting because I had Flash just going into the cave. And so I must have opened the menu once just to use it, but I didn't really pay attention to that. But I actually thought that it may be easier if you don't have that little circle there instead if it's just darker, but I didn't go through it. So it sounds like, no, that's actually way harder.
Yeah, my first thought was, this is almost nearly impossible without Flash because it was just so hard, but gave up on that quick.
I have memories of back when I first played this, I couldn't find Flash, so I hated this tunnel because I didn't know there was a thing like Flash, so I'd always try and get through it, through that darkness, and just be stuck in there for days trying to get out.
Yeah, that's funny. I also have memories as a kid. I just remember on the playground, everyone saying, once you hit Rock Tunnel, the game gets hard. Good luck getting through Rock Tunnel without a guide. But luckily, I did have a little strategy guide, so I would literally map where my guy was going at all times, and it would tell you where each ladder went to. So that was the only way I could get through it back in the day.
I also have one other note for the tunnel, which a different type of Pokemon trainer, the Pokemaniacs. And basically just a lot of Pokemon fanatics. Apparently one of them goes home to draw Pokemon every night.
That sounds like something Tris would do. Pokemaniac, you.
I also captured a Machop and an Onyx, and in this case, the Onyx took a lot of Pokeballs to capture it, which was unexpected. I think it took me 10 Pokeballs just to capture it, even though it had such a little bit of health left over.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I also caught a Machop and an Onyx, and I'm looking up Onyx's catch rate right now, and it's relatively low. It has a 45 catch rate, which, for comparison, the weakest Pokemon, like a Caterpie, has a 255. And most legendaries are between 5 and 30, so 45 is actually relatively low, especially for a Pokemon. I think they wanted to make Onyx sound like a really good Pokemon, even though in actuality we know just one water-type move and it goes down pretty easily.
Or one dig in your case, Chris.
One dig. One other thing I found very interesting about Rock Tunnel that I couldn't believe was that in Generation 1, Rock Tunnel has no items. There are items in Fire Red, Leaf Green, in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, every other game that features Rock Tunnel, just not Red, Blue, or Yellow. That's why I really don't have a whole lot of notes. I know that it took me 2 times to get through it because halfway through my Pokemon started fainting because I only have 3 Pokemon, but luckily with Dig, I was able to get out pretty easily. But that's it.
Yeah, so then we all traversed through Rock Tunnel, and then we entered back into a very small section of Route 10. I remember I always hated that area because at that point, I just want to go to a Pokemon Center, but there's still like 2 or 3 trainers there who like, I just try and talk to everyone and I didn't realize they're trainers. So I got into some fights. They're fine, but I just wasn't prepared for them. But then we all entered everyone's favorite cemetery, Lavender Town.
Creepy.
I do not remember the sound being as creepy as they mentioned. Everyone's literally talking about Pokemon dying. A lot of mentions about a Cubone's mother dying to try and save a Cubone from Team Rocket.
Some pretty messed up. Talking about death in a child's game.
All the NPCs mention Cubone or the Pokemon Tower or death. I especially found that one that was walking around Lavender Town that said, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And if you say yes, it says, oh, "Okay." And if you say no, it says, "Oh yeah, that hand on top of your shoulder, that's not real."
I would just say, though, the theme for Lavender Town is, we already talked about just how iconic every one of, like, the Gen 1 themes are when you, like, walk into a new route or new town, but the Lavender Town theme is just so good, so creepy, like, it should go down in history as one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time, because it's so good.
Yeah, and the fact that it's just a couple beeps and boops until, like, the synth kind of goes in. They didn't have a lot to work with in these games. They still made such an iconic song. Kudos to them, really.
My final thought is you're probably not going to hear me talk about how well the soundtrack is in, like, many other games other than this one, so there's a reason for that.
I have another note within Lavender City before we get into the tower place. There's also the name rater inside. Did you guys go to the name rater?
I did.
And what does he actually do? Because I have no idea.
He's called the Name Raider, but really it's just the guy that renames your Pokemon. So if you didn't name any of them, you get the chance to change any of your Pokemon's name.
Oh, I did not realize that.
I actually did change one of my Pokemon's name. I changed Meowth, who was originally called Scratch Cat. What a great name. I decided, in some good fun, to name my Meowth Purdy, after the legendary 49ers quarterback who led the Niners to 5 consecutive Super Bowl victories starting in 2025.
I hate you, Chris. I hate you so much. It's a great name, though, but still, you're going to remind me of that every single time.
Gotta name my Meowth after the best quarterback, just saying. So, Dustin, if you want to go to the Name Raider, maybe throw a curveball in there and nickname a Pokemon. We'd love it.
Not this first generation. I gotta stay true. Maybe after this one. We'll see.
I eventually used a Name Raider, but that's going to be a little bit later.
Are you guys ready to move on to Route 8? Or did any of you guys go inside the Pokemon Tower at all?
I did go into the Pokemon Tower. If you do go inside it, you do encounter your rival again. And in this case, I fought against Blue, and he finally did evolve his Eevee, or so I thought, because apparently he had the Vulpix, and he had an Eevee. So now I have no idea if the Vulpix was his original Eevee, or if original Eevee stays Eevee and he caught a Vulpix.
So, Eevee doesn't evolve into Vulpix.
Okay, remove this out. Remove this out.
Nope. We gotta be true.
No, we have to keep it.
So that's how much of a Pokemon fan I am, guys. I'll walk myself out.
There is a Vulpix in the route just to the left of Pokemon Tower. But actually, you know what? This is actually a good segue here. Talking about that rival fight, there's a fun Pokemon theory that states that Blue is there because his Raticate died. In your first early battles with him, he has a Rattata, and then it evolves into Raticate, and then Raticate is mysteriously gone at some point, but it's gone right when you see him at the Pokemon Tower. Can't confirm if it's true or not, but that's a fun theory.
They definitely killed that Raticate. My Pokemon were too strong.
Well, I also thought it was pretty creepy that this is also the only city that they decided to make a burial for all of the dead Pokemon in one tower. Like, is this the dead Pokemon throughout the entire region? Or is this just around the city is what I'm wondering. Because no wonder this place is haunted.
Yeah, the map description of Lavender Town just says a solemn, quiet town where people come to visit their departed Pokemon. So it could easily be multiple cities that bury their Pokemon there.
Or the whole region. We may never know. So then, after the rival fight, then Dustin, did you try and go further in the tower?
I just walked around a little because I do know like you could go to the top, but I don't want to do that just because you need the scope if you want to actually catch the Pokemon. That's the main reason I went, was I wanted to catch some ghost Pokemon. Otherwise, if you do notice, you do see there's like the ghost thingy instead of a real Pokemon, it's just like a ghost image and you can't catch it or attack or anything. So immediately I saw that, I was like, nope, this is not for me. So went out and went to Route 8. You guys have any stories there?
I didn't do too much. So in Route 8, you have a trio of new Pokemon. You have Vulpix in Pokemon Blue, and you have Growlithe in Pokemon Red. I know that Mankey is available in Pokemon Red, and I'm unsure if that's been available to you yet, Sean, but he's available there. And then also in Pokemon Yellow, you have a 5% chance of catching a Kadabra, which is pretty cool if you want to skip the Abra training sequences. But yes, I went in and I caught myself a Vulpix just because, why not? Why not add to that total?
When I was traveling through there, I encountered a Growlithe. And I was like, oh, I probably went up to the team, but it'd be cool to catch him. But then he used Roar. And so my Pokemon went away. And I was just like, I don't care enough to try and find him again.
I don't remember capturing any Pokemon in this route, but I did notice one weird instance where there's like 4 trainers standing in the weirdest formation. One looking to the left, the other one looking to the right, and then just zigzag. And the last trainer actually makes a comment on it saying like, oh, isn't that weird? We're all standing in this formation. I was like, wow, well, what's the point of this here?
Very self-aware.
That's my only story there.
I swear I had another story to add there, but I'm kind of... Oh, now I remember. One more fun fact now that we have access to Growlithe is that it is also believed that Growlithe was meant to be a legendary Pokemon, just because if you actually see what its name is in the Pokedex, it's called the legendary Pokemon. And on top of that, in the second episode of the Pokemon anime, there's a mural that has the 3 legendary birds in a square, and then the bottom right part of the square is an Arcanine. So, interesting. At some point, they must have decided that Growlithe and Arcanine should not be legendary Pokemon, but that's why it's a relatively strong Pokemon that you can acquire, unlike Vulpix.
Which I thought was Eevee's evolution. Why would an Eevee evolution be strong? I'm gonna get a lot of hate now.
We're gonna get fans just because of that line.
I do like Eevee evolutions, I swear.
Well, on that note, did everyone any other stories from Route 8, or did you all just go down to the Underground Pass?
Underground Path it was.
Chris, did you look for items again this time?
I did, and I found both of them. Did you guys?
Nope.
Same here. You know, since we are filming episode 3 and episode 4 back to back, I only found out in our last episode that there's actual items in the Underground Pass. So again, for me, this was another tunnel that was like, what is this doing here? There's nothing inside here. Just a waste of time.
That's what they make you believe. But there is a nugget and an elixir that you can find in the Underground Pass. So definitely would recommend both those items to pick up. From there, the Underground Path takes you from Route 8 to Route 7. So at this point, you have gone everywhere around Saffron City. You've been to the north, south, east, and west of it. This takes you to Route 7, which has no new Pokemon there. I don't think you guys have any stories in Route 7, do you?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. So then you reach our newest city, Celadon City. Celadon City has the Celadon department store. It has the Celadon Game Corner, the Celadon Condominiums, and a Celadon Hotel. So there's actually a lot happening in this city. Let's open the floor to some experiences in Celadon City.
I think either in Celadon City or around it. And this is actually where I caught a Doodle. So hopefully I will be able to try and level that up to the Doug Trio, since that's something what our podcast is named after, the Trainer Trio. So we'll have to see if I could get that mascot going.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. I think that's just to the left of Celadon City in Route 16. I didn't even go that way, but that's actually pretty smart. Yeah, Doduo is available in red, blue, and yellow as a new Pokemon.
Wow. Yeah, no, I didn't go that way either. Dustin's just a little explorer this episode.
Well, I need to capture new Pokemon. That's my living, basically.
Real quickly, I went to the Celadon Hotel, which has nothing in it except NPCs. And I thought it was really funny because there's 3 NPCs in there. One that's a brother, one that's a girlfriend and boyfriend. If you talk to the girlfriend first, or if you talk to the girlfriend, she says, "Oh, I came here with my brother and boyfriend." If you talk to the brother, he says, "Yeah, I'm on vacation with my sister." And if you talk to the boyfriend, it just says, "Why did she bring her brother on this vacation?" I was like, why did we program this entire room just for that conversation?
I remember I went through that conversation too, and I thought, wow, this is probably what Michelle thinks when me and Dustin go out to somewhere with her.
Oh, it's nice having you around.
But take the hint, Sean.
Oh, God. No, I thought it was a funny conversation, though, just to have random to talk with those people. But the first thing I did in Celadon is I knew I wanted to add an Eevee to my party. So I went to go pick my Eevee up. For the viewers that don't know, we already decided which evolution each of us is going to have, just so you know, we don't have the same ones. So when I got my Eevee, I was going to give him his nickname of Flare, but then I accidentally just typed F and then thought, I think it was an undercase F, and I want a, overcase F, and so I thought I was going to hit delete, but I said finish, and I'm like, no, now it's only named F. This is terrible. But luckily enough, the name rater was all the way back from Lavender Town, so I went there and renamed my, Eevee back to Flare.
I'm so sad. I wish that we could have just called it F, so it'd be like, F, let's go. But on the topic of that Eevee, I also picked up the Eevee, but I was thinking to myself, I already know what to do to get that Eevee, but how was anyone else supposed to figure out that you had to walk into the back of the building? There's no placemats or anything that tell you to do that, unless you guys came across something that hinted it.
I remember back when I was playing Yellow, the Yellow that we got from our older cousin, when you go up to the top, can't you see the Pokeball, but you can't get it, right? To the top floor if you're on the other side?
Yes.
So I remember as a kid seeing that and getting so mad because I had no idea how to get that Pokeball. And I was convinced that was Mew there. And so that you had to figure out, at the end of the game, you get access to Mew by getting in there. But yeah, no, I never knew how to do that.
Did you get your Eevee, Chris?
I did. However, I will not end up adding Eevee to my team.
That hurts.
Wow.
I did get Eevee and evolved Eevee to Vaporeon, and even though I do have a Gyarados, I have to add Vaporeon also. And so I really like water Pokemon.
Sean, I thought you were supposed to evolve Eevee into Vulpix. What happened?
I was too caught up in the name change that I couldn't focus on that.
Now you have to change your name one more time to Vulpix.
Change it to Vulpix. Honestly, I might do that. That's hilarious. I'm going to change it to Vulpix now. Oh my god. That's going to be the first thing I do next episode.
There's one other place in this city where they actually put the developers into the game, which I thought was pretty cool. Even though they don't name any names, but they're just like, oh, I was the one who did your art. I'm the one who made this game. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. I liked that. I thought that was kind of meta. And I think they do that in other Pokemon games as well. So it's nice that that's a tradition that they've kept from the very beginning.
Oh, I'm excited to find them out in the future Pokemon games we play.
Yeah, I think you know what? I won't spoil anything. Then we'll see it through the journey. There is one other big thing to do in Celadon that I'm sure got Chris very excited. There is the game corner. And we all know Chris has a proclivity to gamble.
Can you repeat that?
I don't
word?
know what that...
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I don't know what that word was.
Proclivity is the word I tried to use.
Yes, I did go to the game corner. Oh, two things on my way to the game corner, because I was just checking out each individual house. And I imagine there's a lot of people who go there and don't realize you need the coin case to be able to gamble. And so luckily I was just going around and I got the coin case at... I forget what room it is or what store gives it to you. But yeah, you talk to some NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
It's the restaurant.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, you get that. And then also, at the restaurant as well, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, the NPC that's normally supposed to talk to you at the beginning of the gym, in this case specifically the Celadon Gym, he was at the restaurant because he said, "Hey there, champ to be." And I was like, wait, was that the guy? But then if you go to the Celadon Gym, he's not there at the very beginning to talk to. So he's just somewhere else in this city. That was kind of fun. But yes, I did get the coin case and I did do some gambling. And I looked up a lot about the gambling because I tried really hard to win coins to get some Pokemon. And I gave up after like 30 minutes because I got to keep that play time down. That's the only thing I'm going to win with you guys.
Oh, wow.
It's fine. You don't have to worry about the playtime. This is just to see how normal people compare against each other. But yeah, at least for my experience in the game corner, like, I saw the prices of the Pokemon. I know Chris even mentioned all the prices in our episode 0. And then I like played one game and only earned 1 coin. I'm like, this is not going to end well. So I stopped right there, basically.
A similar story to Dustin, because there was definitely some Pokemon I wanted to get at the game corner, but then I think I played like 3 or 4 rounds and I was just losing all my money. And then I finally did hit a jackpot for like 5 coins. I'm like, no, this is terrible. So, I mean, in the future, I am still hoping to get a Pokemon there, but I think I'm just going to use my funds to buy the coins straight up.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, because I was looking into it, because I remember in Fire Red and Leaf Green, you can actually time it so that you can get the 777s pretty easily. I tried doing that again in this game here, and every time, if I got 2 7s, I would always be 1 off, and I had to start Googling it, and I found out that it is either random or preset, and it won't let you just time it perfectly. If you get the first 2 and it was not predetermined, it'll slip so it goes up or down 1 spot, so you'll never be able to get a jackpot unless it was predetermined. So don't waste your time on this gambling. Just go ahead, buy your Pokemon. I ended up getting, I don't know, maybe like 600 or 700 coins by trying a couple strategies, but that still was nowhere even close to getting like a Porygon or a Dratini or something I actually wanted. So if we ever do Fire Red and Leaf Green, let's see if we can actually win that jackpot.
Yeah, for the future gambling.
Oh, and did you guys also check around on the floor of the game corner? Because you can definitely find some coins just laying on the floor.
You can talk to some NPCs and they'll actually hand you some coins, which is very nice.
That too. There's a bunch of coins just on the floor, like 10 coins here, 10 coins there. So I think I also started with like over 100 coins. I didn't have to buy any just because of that. So fun fact. I think that's just about everything except the Celadon Gym. Do you guys have anything else?
The only things is that I know if you were in the shopping center at the very top, if you give the girl each of the vending machine items, she gives you a different TM and some really good TMs. I remember I got Ice Beam, which is also a very powerful move, and I feel like we're getting a lot of really good moves early on. So that was a great move that I added to one of my Pokemon that I won't name so that it would surprise everyone.
Oh boy, I'm scared already.
That was the last thing. It's cool that you could actually buy the stones, the evolution stones in this, the shopping area. Because that's how, I'm sure we all, if we did evolve our Eevees, that's how we did it.
Yeah. No, thank you for bringing up the department store. I completely forgot about that. You can get some good TMs at the department store. It's classic Pokemon where they don't tell you what move it is, but you can buy the TM. So you could either get Double Team, Reflect, Razor Wind, Horn Drill, Egg Bomb, Mega Punch, Mega Kick, Takedown, or Submission. That's all for sale. And then I didn't actually know, Sean, what you said of you can get different items because I gave the girl Lemonade and I got Tri Attack, which that didn't do me any good. So maybe I can go back. Can you go back and give her the different drinks?
Yeah, so that's because I gave her, I think, because I bought one of each, and I remember I gave her a water at first, and then I forget which TM you get for that one. That may have been Ice Beam, but then after that, I talked to her again. She said she's still thirsty, so I'm like, okay, I'll just give her another water, but then she wouldn't take it. She'd only take my other ones. I'm like, oh, then maybe you get something new for each one, and you did.
I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that.
Well, the more you know.
Also, just one more thing about the drinks. Lemonade is actually one of the best items in the game. I think it sells for, you buy it for 350 Poké Dollars, and it heals 80 HP. I mean, that's 30 more than a super potion. So I stocked up on like 10 lemonades because that's the best healing item I think that you could buy outside of a hyper potion. Well, at this point.
I like the idea of your Pokemon running weak and you're just giving them lemonade.
Some good sugar. It's also imperative that you pick up a drink at this point. Do you guys know why?
Yes.
I believe so. But what is the reason, Chris?
Because in Generation 1, if you want to get to Saffron City, the guard is thirsty. We've encountered that many, many times. So that's the way how you get through, is you have to hand the guard a drink. Which, that's not how you do it in Generation 3. Because in Generation 3, they were afraid that you would just trade a Pokemon with a lemonade or something from the very first gym, and you'd get to Saffron too early. So in that game, you actually have to use a key item. But Gen 1, Pokemon can't hold items, so that's how they did it. So you now have access to Saffron after going all the way around it. Now I think that's everything except Celadon Gym. Sound fair?
Yeah, that covers everything.
So, nice for me to mention. Oh, did you guys talk to the guy outside of Celadon Gym by chance?
Oh, yeah, the creepy guy.
The peeper.
Yeah, I thought that this was corrected in all North American versions, but I guess not. It's still a very creepy, pervy man in this game. I'm going to let you guys talk about the gym because for the first time ever, my Charmeleon came in handy against the grass-type gym. So my stories may be less interesting.
Oh, that's exciting. I'll start first for the Celadon Gym. One of the first things I noticed was there were a lot of trainers in this gym. Compared to the last gym that we fought in, where literally the gym leader only had one Pokemon, was such a big disappointment. I was happy to find out this was a little more difficult for me. Basically, I went in with Mr. Mime at level 30, and then he got to level 31, and since he's like a traded Pokemon, he started no longer listening to me. So that became even more difficult to try and get through the gym. And then up against the final boss, in this case, that is, what's the gym leader's name?
Erika,
thank you. Against Erika, she took me down to 3 Pokemon, and I was facing off against her Tangela, and that's how I lost Sandshrew, who at this point in time is also one of my highest level Pokemon. So I was left towards the very end with like Gyarados, and then I believe it was Pikachu, which Pikachu right now, sadly, is like one of my lowest level Pokemon. So it was basically up to my Gyarados, and he did come in clutch against the grass-type Pokemon somehow. I just had to make sure that I kept attacking and dealing damage before they killed him.
what 3 Pokemon did you face? Because I believe 2 of your 3 Pokemon are different than what Sean and I faced.
Ooh, let's see. I do not remember, so I'll have to pull that up. Unless, Chris, you have that information on hand.
I just pulled it up. So you have Tangela, like you said, and you went up against a Weeping Bell and a Gloom. All in the 30s, the 30 and 32 and 32.
Yeah, so I think my Pikachu was level 22. So I had to make sure I can't throw Pikachu into this battle.
Yeah, no, for us, we had the fully evolved forms. We had instead Victory Bell and Vileplume, but they were a little bit low level. I have it pulled up too, so that's how I know. That's strange. I wonder how which fight was then more difficult, because we got the fully evolved Pokemons, but they're slightly lower level than Dustin's Pokemon that he had to fight.
I think you got off a little easy there, because he's fully evolved Pokemon, especially Vileplume. Vileplume's a little bit of a tough one there.
I guess we'll find out with Sean. How was your experience there?
Well, so before I get to Erika, I know this was the first time I saw someone with the Execute, and I hated it. The sprite is the one massive one with the other ones circling it. It just looks so weird. I was like, what the heck is this? It's so dumb. I put a note on that. I just had to say something. But going into the actual fight, my Pokemon's levels, Mr. Mime, my Flareon, and Gloom were all level 28. And the other 3 Pokemon I had in my party were level 29. So I went in and I thought that she would have mainly grass and poison types, because that's how most of the gym had been. So I led with Mr. Mime, but so her first Pokemon was a Victory Bell, and so I was a little scared because Victory Bell is a fully evolved Pokemon, and so I tried to hit it with a couple confusions. It did some damage, but not that much. And then the Razor Leafs But the criticals just kept on coming, so it took out my Mr. Mime pretty quickly. And at this point in time, I decided, hey, I might as well use my Flareon. And so Flareon doesn't learn a fire move at this level. I had used a TM to give it Body Slam, so that was its strongest move. And so I sent it out there, and it also had learned Quick Attack at this point, because I remember Victory Bell still was in the red, so I did a quick attack, took him out, then she sent out Tangela, and I was able, I think, with a couple Body Slams to take Tangela out, but Rap was kind of still super annoying for a little bit. Got my Flareon down into the yellow when she sent out Vileplume. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to sack Flareon, do as much damage as I can to Vileplume, and probably just send out probably my flying, was it Pharaoh? But Flareon came in clutch, he hit a crit on his Body Slam, and then it paralyzed Victory Plume, got the full para, and then took her out with another Body Slam. I was just like, dang, Flareon, you didn't have to go so hard. So it was pretty cool, specifically because he has the type advantage against that gym, but he didn't have any type advantage moves, and he still was the MVP who throughout the gym.
Welcome to the team, F.
Mean full picks, right?
Looks like your Flareon really wanted to make a spot on your team, since he probably knows that you keep trading Pokemon out.
I do. He definitely earned a spot with that, because I was definitely maybe considering going back for that Growlithe to get an Arcanine, but after that performance, I think he earned a spot.
Also, for any listeners out there, if you want to make a compilation of Sean saying, I saw that Pokemon Sprite and it terrified me, I would love that.
There's probably going to be like 5 more of those comments, so. But now, Chris, without further ado, your journey in the gym.
I don't have a lot to talk about, although while going through some of the trainers, my Purdy evolved from a Meowth to a Persian. So, alright, now I have a fully evolved Persian, a fully evolved Sandslash, and I have my Charmeleon that's still chugging with its move it learned at level 9. And one more thing too is that technically Sandslash, I think, learned Poison Sting at some point, and I wrote a note that just said, wow, why at level 27 isn't learning a move that doesn't have same type attack bonus that a Weedle gets at like level 3? Who decided this? I don't really have much to talk about. I was leveling up my Charmeleon a little bit. I think it was level 33 going into the fight, and I just kept using Ember against it because Razor Leaf couldn't do much. I believe he got poisoned pretty early on, so he couldn't fall asleep. But poison only does 1/16 of your total HP in Gen 1, so it's not too good. Vileplume was the only one that was worrying me a little bit because it had Petal Dance and Mega Drain, but yet again, those were not very effective moves against my Charmeleon, so just kept going through the Embers, and I beat Erika pretty easily. So, what you got in, I think, the first gym with a super effective Squirtle, and what Dustin got in the second gym with his Pikachu super effective against water types, took to the fourth gym, but I got my super effective gym.
Well, we're just halfway there, so we'll have to see how the other 4 gyms shake out. Anyways, let's go over our Pokemon party and levels. I think Sean already went through his, but if you want to start again, Sean, just so we can stack them all together.
Yeah. So, this is now directly after the gym, because, I gave a brief overview, but so I have Marcel the Mr. Mime at level 28, Weeds the Gloom, still at level 28, Queenie the Nidoqueen at level 29, Cranky the Pharaoh at level 29, Blue the Wartortle, level 29, and you know him, you love him, Flare the Flareon at level 29, but that name will quickly be changed to Vulpix.
I do have to say, one of my least favorite Pokemon on your team is that Gloom, so I can't wait for you to trade out Gloom.
I don't know, he's been doing a lot of work.
Alright, Chris.
My team has not changed since the last time, just a couple level ups and evolutions. So I have Char the Charmeleon at level 34. I have Purdy, that's 3 R's, at level 30. That's a Persian. And I have Sandy the Sandslash at level 31.
Those are all good levelings. With my party, you'll probably notice I did leave some Pokemon behind, so maybe it's time to start thinking about switching them out. My Pidgeotto I never really used since the last gym. Let me just check here. Oh, well, I guess he leveled up twice. He's level 21. I have a Pikachu that's level 22. Vaporeon, I got Vaporeon up to level 25. And then the 3 main Pokemon I've been using, which is Sandslash at level 31, Mr. Mime at level 31, and Gyarados at level 32. And with that, if you guys record the time it took you to complete this gym, for me, it took me 12 hours and 5 minutes. John?
I am at 12 hours and 10 minutes.
Whoa, we caught up. Chris?
I don't know what's taking you guys so long. I'm at 9:58, just clocking in under 10 hours.
Oh no, Chris.
Wow. Chris is speed running this game.
And you're the one who said you don't want to do the gambling. It would take too long.
Yeah, you have 3 hours to gamble.
What's your guys's Pokedex number?
Let's start off with Sean.
I will be the least impressive one. I have 18 Pokemon.
I have about close to double that at 35.
All right, I'm a happy medium. I'm at 24.
I did record. I mean, I've just been recording when I completed the last one, and then seeing how long it took me to complete this section of the gyms. And it took me about 3 hours from Gym 3 to Gym 4. And just to compare this to my previous ones, the last gym also took me about 3 hours on par. So it looks like at least I found a steady 3 hours per gym currently.
Yeah, I was afraid that Rock Tunnel was going to slow me down a bunch, but if you have Flash and you're just paying attention to where you came from, you can actually get through it pretty easily. So I was a little nervous for that, but I got through it pretty easily, and I thought this was a relatively quick section, especially compared to what's coming up.
Now I'm just remembering probably one reason why it was a little longer for me and Sean was that we did have some difficulty with that rock tunnel. Sean had to find Flash, and for me, I had to find where the tunnel was to begin with. So I know that was a little time sink. Maybe not an hour or so, but definitely at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, probably 30 minutes for me too, just doing that.
Just some concluding thoughts I have. Dustin, you mentioned you could say halfway through with the game. I mean, we have 4 out of the 8 gym badges. And personally, I am really hyped to just keep playing this game right now. When we were kind of stuck, once we got up to Erika and beat her and kind of had to wait to record 2 episodes, I was afraid. I was I really hope we can get these episodes done quickly so we can keep going. So now that we got this done, I'm enjoying the Kanto region and I'm just ready to keep jumping into it.
Yeah, same here. I'm quite enjoying it because there was a time when playing from the 3rd to the 4th gym, just because we had such a long gap, I was kind of oh man, am I still interested in doing this? But then it's always nice just talking to you guys. And then also, I really do enjoy battling you guys and just seeing what parties you're coming up with.
No, I'm definitely the same feelings that I was very excited when we finally got these episodes so that I could sink my teeth back into some more Pokemon, of course, so that we could do these battles and prove why I'm the Pokemaster.
Alright guys, and I think that concludes our episode. We will be battling each other in a round-robin format after this to see who has the best team after obtaining the Rainbow Badge. In our next episode, we will talk about our experiences leading up to and beating the 5th gym leader, the student of ninjutsu, Koga.
Until next time, we are the Trainer Trio, signing off. Catch you in Fuchsia City, trainers!